Throughout NFL history, there's been plenty of moments they definitely want you to forget. With the Patriots constantly dominating the league year after year, they're still under constant spotlight as some feel they shouldn't even be respected. In years past, plenty of scandals have surfaced around their team. On September 10th, 2007, New England Patriots head coach Bill Belichick was accused by the New York Jets of authorizing his staff to film the Jets' defensive singles from an on-field location. This was a violation of the National Football League's rules, and NFL security confiscated the video camera used by video assistant Matt Estrella to film the signals during the game. Jets head coach Eric Mangini had reported the fact that the Patriots were taping from the sidelines to the NFL security, and Mangini later said, "I didn't think it was any kind of significant advantage, but I wasn't going to give them the convenience of doing it in our stadium, and I wanted to shut it down." But there was no intent to get the league involved. There was no intent to have the landslide that it's become. 2 days later, Belichick issued a statement to apologize to everyone who's been affected, and also stated that he spoke with NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell about the situation. In a September 2006 statement sent out by NFL Vice President of Football Operations Ray Anderson, it said all teams were told that videotaping of any type, included but not limited to taping an opponent's offense or defensive signals, is prohibited on the sidelines, in the coach's booth, in the locker room, or any other location accessible to club staff members during the game. On September 13th, Belichick was officially fined $500,000 for the incident to make sure that no other teams took a chance like this again. This was the largest fine ever imposed on a coach in the league's 87-year history, and the maximum permitted under league rules. The Patriots themselves were also fined $250,000, and they were stripped of their first-round draft pick selection in the 2008 NFL Draft. Goodell said he fined the Patriots as a team because Belichick is effectively the team's general manager as well as the head coach, and exercises so much control over the Patriots' on-field operations that his actions and decisions are properly attributed to the club. The Patriots officially clinched their 5th straight AFC East Division title on November 25th, making them the first NFL team since the 1971 Miami Dolphins to have the first-round pick taken away by league action. And with the Patriots already being looked at heavily due to recent allegations, this wasn't the only controversy they'd been a part of. What was eventually called Deflategate led to huge headlines surrounding New England that many didn't take lightly. And the situation came during the 2014 playoffs in the AFC Championship game. During the first half of that championship game, Patriots quarterback Tom Brady threw an interception to Colts linebacker DeQuell Jackson. Jackson handed the ball to the Colts equipment manager for safekeeping and as a souvenir. Early reports suggested that Jackson was the first to suspect the ball was deflated, but Jackson said that he didn't notice anything wrong with the ball when he caught it. Jackson says he actually didn't even know the ball was taken or that the controversy existed until he was being driven home from his team's charter plane after the Colts had arrived in Indianapolis. The official rules of the NFL require footballs to be inflated to a gauge pressure between 12.5 and 13.5 pounds per square inch, but the rules don't specify the temperature at which the measurements to be made. Prior to 2006, NFL rules were for the home team to provide all the game's footballs. In 2006, the rules were altered so that each team uses its own footballs while on offense, and teams rarely handle a football used by another team except for after recovering a fumble or interception. And Brady, along with Peyton Manning, argued for the rules to change for the express purpose of letting quarterbacks use footballs that suited them. But DeQuell Jackson talked about the situation happening in that game, and he said, "I wouldn't know how that could even be an advantage or a disadvantage. I definitely wouldn't be able to tell if one ball had less pressure than another." But after Jackson's interception, the team notified NFL Game Day operations that they understood there was a problem with the inflation level of the Patriots football, and at halftime, NFL officials inspected the football, and former NFL referee Jerry Austin incorrectly stated that 11 of the 12 balls used by the Patriots were measured to be 2 pounds per square inch below the minimum amount. But later reports said that only one single ball was 2 pounds per square inch below the minimum, while others were just a few ticks under the minimum. And it was subsequently revealed that an NFL official, Clete Blakeman's measurement, said that 5 of the 11 balls measured below 11 pounds. And Coach Bill Belichick went on to speak about the allegations, saying, "When I came in Monday morning, I was shocked to hear about the news report about the footballs. I had no knowledge of the situation until Monday morning. I think we all know that quarterbacks, kickers, specialists, they all have certain preferences of footballs. They know a lot more than I do. They're a lot more sensitive to it than I am. I hear them comment on it from time to time, but I can tell you, and they'll tell you there's never any sympathy whatsoever from me on that subject. Tom's personal preference on his footballs are something that he could talk about in much better detail and information than I could possibly provide." Dean Blandino, who's the NFL official who spoke about the balls, said, "We test them. It's 12.5 to 13.5. We put 13 in every ball. We tested a couple in the office, and we had one underflated and one to specs. You really can't tell the difference unless you actually sat there and tried to squeeze the thing, or did some extraordinary things. If someone just tossed you the ball, especially in 20-degree weather, you gotta pretty much play with the ball. They're gonna be hard. You're not gonna notice the difference." Tom Brady's credibility took a dip, and he eventually received a 4-game suspension despite appealing the rule. Brady even released a statement saying, "I'm very disappointed by the NFL's decision to uphold a 4-game suspension against me. I did nothing wrong, and no one in the Patriots organization did either. Despite submitting the hours of testimony over the last 6 months, it's disappointing that the commissioner upheld my suspension based upon a standard that it was probable that I was generally aware of misconduct. The fact is that neither I nor any equipment person did anything of which we've been accused. I also disagree with yesterday's narrative surrounding my cell phone. I replaced my broken Samsung phone with a new iPhone 6 after my attorneys made it clear to the NFL that my actual phone device would not be subject to investigation under any circumstance. As a member of a union, I was under no obligation to set a new precedent going forward, nor was I made aware at any time during Mr. Wells' investigation that failing to subject my cell phone to investigation would result in any discipline. But despite this happening, it hasn't held back Tom Brady at all, and he's gone on to win multiple Super Bowls since. And he's only used this as motivation to prove to everyone why you can't take his label of the greatest of all time away. Super Bowl 47 was already a very anticipated matchup, with it being the first time in Super Bowl history that the two head coaches of both teams were blood brothers. But on February 2nd of 2013, Super Bowl 47 was played in New Orleans, and it was between the 49ers and the Ravens. The two brother coaches were Jim and John Harbaugh, who made this specific Super Bowl nicknamed the Harbowl. And it was the first time in Super Bowl history where two teams were previously undefeated, with the Ravens being 1-0 in their history and the 49ers being a perfect 5-0 in the Super Bowl. The Ravens dominated the first half of the game, going into halftime with a 28-6 lead, when all of a sudden, everything in the stadium went black, and all 40,000 plus fans gasped as they tried to figure out what was happening. The power outage in the stadium lasted nearly 40 minutes, and it shocked every fan, team member, and everyone on TV who wasn't really sure what had happened. After the power outage was figured out, the Ravens' momentum was shut down, and the 49ers led a 17-0 comeback to cut the lead to 28-23. But it was too late, as the Ravens defense, led by Ray Lewis, were able to hold out the 49ers on their final drive. After the game, Ray Lewis went as far as saying that the power outage was intentional. He even said, "You cannot tell me someone wasn't sitting there, and when they say the Ravens are about to blow them out, man, we better do something." That's a huge shift in any game, in all seriousness. And as you see how huge it was because it lets them right back into the game, it really hurt us. We had a lot of momentum. We were rolling. That 35 or 40 minute wait, whatever it was, that hurt our momentum as far as what we were trying to do. But we came out on top, and that's all that matters. Hall of Famer Ed Reed even spoke about this, saying, "The bad part is, we started talking about it. Some of the guys were saying, they're trying to kill our momentum. It was like there's two teams on the field, but once we started talking about it, it happened. We talked it up." And a senior executive named Doug Thornton spoke about how the power outage was an issue that they'd been dealing with previously, and they were worried it would happen during the Super Bowl. In weeks leading up to the Super Bowl, Doug and his crew tested various amounts of power and other test runs in order to stop this from happening, but due to the amount of people and the energy in the building, it happened again. Doug said, "It was like somebody punching you in the gut, and even though it wasn't our fault, it became our problem. They were like headline, black eye for the city, black cloud for the Super Bowl." The whole thing bothered me for months. And many people in the stadium thought about the worst case scenario, including a terrorist attack or some sort of illegal activity happening, which sent many security guards and other cops in the stadium into a frenzy. But black cats being known worldwide as a sign of bad luck, the NFL definitely doesn't want you to know about the cat that stopped two teams from playing a game during the 2019 season. Just a few days after Halloween, shortly before halftime at MetLife Stadium in New York, the visiting Cowboys were down 9-3 when Eli Manning connected with Evan Ingram for a reception when the play was stopped by the referees. A black cat had made its way onto the field, and many people, including security guards, were trying to catch the animal, but the cat weaved his way in and out of the hands of the guards before making its way into the end zone, where he got a round of applause. No one had seen anything like this before, and it was questioned how the cat even made its way into the stadium in the first place. Kevin Harlan, who was calling the game, even said, "Policemen and state troopers have come onto the field and the cat runs to the end zone. That's a touchdown." It says he wasn't being caught. The cat bolted under the seating area of the stadium and still to this day remains at large and hasn't been caught. Someone who works for the stadium even tweeted about the cat, saying, "Tuesday morning, we set multiple humane traps throughout the stadium and searched long and hard for the black cat to no avail. We're hopeful that we can find the black cat that we fell in love with Monday night." And Cowboys defensive end DeMarcus Lawrence also spoke about this happening, saying, "First thing across my mind was like, they got bad luck now. It just turned on them. I was like, man, the game's over. If a black cat runs out on the damn field on a Monday night football game, a black cat? You might as well call it quits, bro. Y'all's luck is terrible." With many fans around the league wanting their 15 seconds of fame, oftentimes some decide to streak or run around the field during a game. And during a Thursday night preseason game between the Chiefs and Packers, one fan decided to jump the front row and run onto the field to cause not only a commotion, but also to get a reaction from other fans and of course social media. After close to a dozen security guards and police officers and team officials tried to chase him down, he quickly learned what it was like to be tackled by an NFL player. Chiefs backup safety Harold Jones-Corday came off the sidelines, saw the man, and without the man knowing, Harold got an angle to make the tackle, which he did, absolutely laying the shirtless man into the grass. With the Titans looking to make it a fun and winning home opener for their fans in 2015 against the Colts, they left their field on fire. Literally. Shortly before the game began, the team's pyrotechnic equipment glitched, sparking a small fire near the north end zone. Titans players erupted out of the locker room and onto the field, while bursts of fire shot up high into the air around them, which is a normal action at games, but many people didn't expect what happened next. The pyrotechnic equipment used to shoot the flames burst, causing the solution to leak onto the field, which then caught on fire and began spreading. On-field operations specialists began putting out the fire, which only lasted a few minutes before the game was supposed to start, but luckily, according to ESPN, nobody was injured. The Titans released an official statement after the game saying, following the pre-game introductions today, there was a mechanical failure by one of the pyrotechnic devices which resulted in a fire. The vendor will be required by the state of Tennessee to undergo an inspection for that affected device and the others that were used to determine the final cause. The field staff acted quickly to extinguish the fire, which resulted in no injuries and minor field damage. And the situation could have easily been devastating to the arena and fans if it wasn't handled properly. A fire like this with potential to spread across the entire arena is a pretty scary thought. And thankfully people acted fast, or the situation could have definitely been a lot worse. But the situation never got into the Titan players' heads. Present day, the team nearly made the Super Bowl, upsetting teams like the Patriots and the Ravens in the 2020 playoffs, and they have a bright future ahead of them. Hey yo, dog, what do you you doing right now, bro? You gotta click on this video on the screen, dude. This video is literally already lined up for you. You don't even have to think about it. Don't even gotta use your noggin at all, dog. All you gotta do is just click on this video. It's that simple. It's as easy as eating candy. You just pop it into your mouth. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore, but click on the video.